Have you ever made multiple cuts on your miter saw only to realize that the pieces that you just cut aren't of the same size? Well, as a beginner woodworker, I have fallen into the same trap in the past. But the truth of the matter is that we rely so much on our tape measure for measuring everything. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a stop block for your miter station or for your miter saw to enable you make accurate cuts. It's going to be a simple build, but yet you're going to get accurate cuts. Alright, let's get into it. When I started woodworking about a year ago, I would use a Ryobi miter saw for breaking down my lumber, my workbench, an old cabinet that came with a garage. At the time, I would attach a scrap wood to the miter saw to act as an extension fence, and then I attached another piece of scrap wood to my extension fence to act as a stop block, and it worked just fine. If you are a hobbyist like myself, this works just fine for any minor setup. However, the problem that I ran into was when I tried to cut pieces that are longer than my extension fence. As I got more serious with woodworking, I realized that I needed a much more reliable setup. So I built myself a proper miter station. Knowing how important it is to have an accurate, repeatable cut, I built myself this stop block. So let's head over to the shop to show you how to make this simple jig. To start the build, I grabbed some scrap wood I had lying around in my shop. I wanted the stop block to be thick and wide enough to handle multiple pieces at once. My target dimensions were 6 inches long, 3.5 inches wide, and 2.25 inches tall. First, I cut the scrap lumber into rough dimensions, knowing I would trim them to final size after glue up. There's something about glue ups that I find oddly satisfying. It's like the calm before the storm of precision work. Once the glue dried, I cut the blocks to its final length on the miter saw and then trimmed it to its final width on the table saw. With the block at its final size, I moved on to cutting a groove along its face. This groove is for a strip of wood that will run in the T-track and prevent the stop block from moving side to side. I used my router with a 3/8-inch straight bit for this step. Now, a quick backstory. Before deciding to build this stop block, I actually bought one off Amazon, but it ended up being too small for my liking, which led me to building this particular stop block. With a groove complete, I cut a 3/8-inch strip of wood to fit and glued it into the groove. Once the glue was set, I drilled a 1/4-inch hole through the center of the block, making sure to align it perfectly with the strip of the groove. Next, I practiced some hand tool skills by using a Japanese pull saw and a chisel to remove materials around the drilled hole. This ensures clearance for the T-track bolt and allows the block to sit flush. After that, I tested the fit with a 3.5-inch T-track bolt, and it worked perfectly. To finish things off, I chamfered the sharp edges of the block for a clean, polished look. And I added a coat of shellac for protection. Finally, it was time for the moment of truth. Testing the test block. I'm happy to report that the test cuts were exactly the same length, proving this stop block is both simple and highly effective. If you enjoy this content, chances are that you will enjoy some of my other content, so check them out.